Hello everybody, welcome to SSB Tales and also welcome to the Lecturate series where we cover the recently asked lecturate topics in various SSBs, and the topic that we have picked up today is nuclear disarmament, and it has recently been asked in SSB Jalandhar. So in this particular video, first we are going to understand that what is the definition of nuclear disarmament. Then we will understand about the history or background, means how this movement it started to prohibit the nuclear weapons, right, or doing the nuclear disarmament. Okay, so we will understand the history. After that we will look at that some key arguments that are given in favor of nuclear disarmament, and then there is a treaty. However, there are various treaties that exist, but this particular one, nuclear non-proliferation treaty, this is the most famous among all, and we are going to understand, and we are also going to look at that what is the stand of India for this particular treaty, and what the stand of India in general when it comes to nuclear disarmament is. Okay, so let's get started. Starting off with, what is the definition of nuclear disarmament? What does it mean? So see, from name itself we can have an idea. First of all, we are talking about nuclear weapons, we are talking about nuclear, right? And then disarmament. Okay, armament means something that you possess. Okay, disarmament means to reduce that. Okay, so if you look at the definition, so what is this nuclear disarmament? It says it is the process of reducing and eradicating nuclear weapons, right? So first of all, to the countries they possess nuclear weapons, right, their functioning has to be reduced, their use has to be reduced, and also timely it is expected, or it is hoped that the use of the nuclear weapons, it will be stopped altogether. Okay, as well as ensuring that countries without nuclear weapons are not able to develop them, right? So we are focusing on two countries. First of all, to the country who already have to reduce their use, and in future, maybe somewhere in future, that eradication of these nuclear weapons will happen. And the new countries, the under this particular nuclear disarmament movement, it will be aimed that no new country they make nuclear weapons. Why is it so? Why this particular specific moment it got started, right? It dates back to when the USA, they got this hint that Germany is going to produce the first ever world's nuclear weapon, and for that, for opposing that, or you can say in response to that the USA, they came up with the Manhattan Project, and famously Oppenheimer movie, it released last year, right? You must have seen or heard about it. So that was all about the Manhattan Project, right? So Manhattan Project, it was initiated by US government, and the first ever nuclear weapon we got because of the Manhattan Project, right? But soon after it was made, even the scientists who were involved in this particular project, they realized that it is something which is very deterrent, and you can say it is ethically also not good to use these, right? Because a lot of people who are not engaged in war, the innocent civilian lives will also get affected, and it would have longer impact than expected, right? So that is why even the scientists who were involved in this Manhattan Project, they only were the ones who initiated a petition, and they submitted it to the US government that the bomb should not be dropped over I'm sorry, Japan's cities, right? However, it's said that the letter never reached the president, and anyhow they did it, right? But once that was happened, then after that, various several other movements they were run by US women, by various other countries, right? So that no such other event happens, because in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there were lakhs of people. They got just they got vaporized just within fraction of seconds because of those bombs, right? And not only that, it still has impact, still it has caused some genetic variation among the people who were there in the cities, and still deformed the children, they are born. So the impact is still now, and this particular bombing, it happened back in World War second time, 1945 के time में ये हुई थी, right? So you can understand that how deterrent these nuclear weapons are. Okay, so after that the movement started at very smaller level, big scale, right? And adding to that, there also British campaign for nuclear disarmament that was run, and this peace sign. So you must have heard, or you must know, or you would know now, that this is the peace sign, peace symbol, you must have heard of, right? And this was initiated, made for the nuclear disarmament only, right? To run this movement. So this British campaign that was run, and that time only we got introduced with this peace sign. Okay, why is it happening? Like, why are people they want to end this nuclear weapon armament, right? So why this disarmament is running, let's just understand that what are the key arguments in favor that why should we stop using the nuclear weapons, right? The first one being that these are nuclear weapons are they cause the mutually assured destruction. What does it mean? Mutually assured means even the defender, like on whom you will drop the bomb, and also the attacker, both will get affected. Because see, for defender you have nuked one particular city, right? In response, then they would then attack you, right? So it is going to be a very longer chain. Currently, if you look at it, if you just keep aside the nuclear weapons, today also, as you can see, be it your Israel Gaza, or you can see Russia Ukraine, yes, there are still the attacks are going on, still people are losing lives. But if you compare that to the nuclear weapon, you can see that the destruction is comparatively very, very less. And especially in current scenarios where, you know, armed you use arms and everything in the fight, you use army or like any weapons that you're using, they are still they are not causing mass destruction, especially to the civilians, right? But if you keep that in mind, that if nuclear weapons are used, right, so if attacker has dropped the bomb in the defender state in some area, right, so definitely they are then going to reciprocate that, right? So it's a mutually assured destruction that is going to happen, and the casualties will be very, very, very high, right? Second reason why the people they are supporting this particular movement is about that it is not only like deterrent for safety of citizens, but it is also very harmful for the environment as well as health. Example of Japan, still the deformalities are observed in the children, right? That also. And not only that, but this radiation can enter the soil, okay? And when it enters the soil, it can then whatever be the water that is present in the soil, the vegetation that will happen, it will have direct impact on that as well. So food safety be our food safety is also food security is also getting hampered if something like this nuclear war they start, right? And ultimately it's also about a lot of billions of dollars every year they are being used on the nuclear weapons. So if government they can, if there is some internationally there is a law that nobody can use or develop nuclear weapons, definitely those billions of money can be used for other government operation. It can be used for better education facilities, better healthcare facilities, right? Better infrastructure of your country and all these things, right? So these are the three major key arguments. And as I said before, a lot of movements were run, informal movements at smaller scale, bigger scale. But then some treaties also they came, right? For example, we have one treaty of Telco, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, okay? So this focused on the Latin America and the Caribbean region, means they came together and they said that in this region we are going to restrict the usage of nuclear weapons or the development of it, right? Then one came the Treaty of Bangkok, where the ASEAN nations, what they did, they made this pact that they are not going to get involved with the functioning of these nuclear weapons. And then also there come one SALT and START. These two treaties they were between USA and Russia. And basically this was, there was a time, especially during World War II, when USA and Russia they were in the arm race. It was just, you know, seen that who is going to develop more advanced weapons, right? And in that race it was threatened, it was, you can say, the whole world was afraid that maybe they can go towards this nuclear weapons and they can go to the extreme version just to be above the other, right? So that is why the SALT and START treaty, they have a full form, they have a history. For your 3 minutes, these are not the things in detail you should want to know, right? See, one more thing I want to say here, maybe the video length will be long, but it will give you enough content to continuously speak for 3 minutes. So it's up to you, how are you going to present yourself in 3 minutes. My aim is to let you understand what is everything, and that is why it will take comparatively more time, instead of if I would have to just speak it on 3 minutes. All right. So SALT and START treaty, this happened between US and Russia about limiting the arm race that they were having, okay? But among these, as you have seen, that these are just between some nations, okay, some specific like Latin America or ASEAN countries, right, in the southeastern Asia region. But there is one treaty which is known as Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This is at the international level by UN, United Nation ये लेके आए हैं, ठीक है? Proliferation means what? Proliferation means propagation, to multiply, to spread, right? So non-proliferation means to reduce. Okay, so non-proliferation means to reduce. We don't have to, whatever we have, it should be stopped and eradicated, and it should not be propagated further. So this nuclear non-proliferatory treaty, it talks about that. Okay, so what its intention is, so it is the international treaty, and it is for what? To prevent the spread of the proliferation or spread of the nuclear weapons and weapon technology. Okay, and also to promote coordination, so that whatever be the existing nuclear weapons we have, or the knowledge we have of this nuclear weapons, that can be used for the peaceful purposes. Okay, under the treaty, well, there are various rules, laws that are there, but the one that we have to keep in mind first is the aim, that it is to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, right, and also to utilize the cop and also to do cooperation for the peaceful uses of the nuclear energy, whatever we are aware of, right. The second is that the particular treaty, it says that whoever are non-nuclear states, they have to declare that they will never acquire any nuclear weapons, right. So this is again the first aim, which is that of the disarmament of nuclear weapons also. It is that, right, that people should not create or produce their own nuclear weapons. So similarly, this treaty says about that, that whoever are non-nuclear states, they should not acquire any nuclear weapons, and means the ones who are part of the treaty. Okay, because here the countries would have to voluntarily participate in this. Okay, and in exchange, what the treaty is saying, that because now देखो, nuclear energy is not just used for weapons or destruction purpose, it can be used for peaceful purpose also, to generate electricity and all other energy purpose it can be used, right. So when the treaty says that the non-nuclear states cannot generate their nuclear weapons or acquire nuclear weapons, or means nuclear energy related भी कुछ restrictions हैं, there are restrictions that are related to nuclear energy. So what the then treaty says for them, what the treaty says, they says that whoever who, if they follow it, then the non-nuclear states, if they follow this particular thing, then in exchange to that, whoever be the nuclear weapon states are, who have this nuclear weapons, okay, they have to share the benefits of the peaceful nuclear technology, means they would have to share the nuclear technology with the non nuclear states, so that the peaceful use of nuclear energy can be done. See, all in all, the government is saying, the United Nations is saying that through this treaty, whoever now have the knowledge, but they have made the nuclear weapons out of it, right. So nuclear weapons will not be proliferated to the non-nuclear states, right. But what the technology, the nuclear technology that they know, these nuclear weapon states, those they can share with the non-nuclear states, so that the peaceful usage of of these nuclear technology can be done. But in return to that, non-nuclear states have to guarantee that they are not going to acquire any nuclear weapon. Okay, this is about treaty. It seems good, right? But if we talk about India, India has not signed it. So now let's understand that what is India's stand on NPT. Okay, देखो, India is saying, and it has always been upfront, and it has been very vocational about it has been very vocal about supporting the nuclear disarmament. India, it firmly believes that the world should not go towards the nuclear armament, because it is very very deterrent, and it is not good for the humanity at all, right. But it does not mean that India is blindly going to follow anything, right, just to back up their claim. If we talk about this NPT, India says that it has a lot of flaws. We are going to discuss the two major one which India is saying. Okay, and India is saying that this particular treaty, it is very discriminatory. Why is it saying that it is discriminatory? The first of all, if you look at the treaty, it says that currently, for example, देखो, India में भी Pakistan may we have nuclear weapons, right. India is recognized nuclear weapon state, and Pakistan is also, and now North Korea is also, right. But if you look at that particular treaty when it came into existence, okay, it says that only the states who have developed the nuclear weapons before 1970s, those will be considered as nuclear weapon states. Rest apart, if you have or have not come up with a nuclear technology after 1940, you are not considered so. Okay, so currently, if you look at, currently this treaty recognizes only 5 states, means 5 state, when I say, it means 5 nations. Okay, and these are the big nations that we have, means the ones that are running UN since like Hamesha. For example, we are talking about USA. It is recognizing USA. It recognizes UK. It recognizes China, France, and Russia. So according to this treaty, only these five states are nuclear states, and rest apart, all the states are non-nuclear states. Now imagine if India becomes part of this particular treaty, they would have to destroy the technology that they have finally they were able to decode, right? And we have nuclear weapons, we are peacefully utilizing it. We would have to stop everything, right? So that is why first the government and first India, it says that it is a discriminatory policy that has come. And another, India is saying, देखो इंडिया का हमेशा से स्टैंड, इट हैज़ बिन वेरी वेरी क्लियर दैट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू initiate nuclear war, right? We are the ones who are not going to use it first, right? But we have China bordered with us, we have Pakistan bordered with us, and Pakistan, if you look at it, every second time the Pakistan, they keep on saying that they have nukes and they can use it against India if India does not listen, and things like that, right? So we have to have something that is going to deterrent means something that will make the our enemies afraid to take some big actions against us. ठीक है? So India must keep a minimum nuclear deterrent it should have, because we have two major enemies who are the ones who always initiate the process. So even though we are not going to use it, we are going to keep it as diplomatic as possible, the talks, but still we have to have something so that these states would think twice or thrice before attempting any such nuclear attack on us, right? So that is why it is very mandatory for India. So because of this reason, India is saying, and India again, it has always been vocal whenever India gets chance. Even our foreign minister, in every conference, whenever the talk is on this, we always say that India, it supports nuclear disarmament, and it should be nuclear disarmament in the world. But the treaty that we have come up with, it needs some common grounds, it needs some more clarity. For example, it says that the nuclear weapons has to be destroyed by the non nuclear weapon countries, but it does not say till what time. So what if India does so, but Pakistan or maybe China or any China to chalo under is this particular treaty, but what if Pakistan or North Korea does not do so, right? So there are a lot of vagueness that is there, right? And also like for example, it has identified only the five states, right? So these are things, some vagueness are there, and that needs to be corrected. And definitely if we look at the overall way forward for this particular topic, it is that more and more bilateral talks should be promoted, more and more discussion over the topics, and good foreign relations will definitely are going to reduce this speculations of getting attacked by the other country, right? Sanctions are something that countries they do impose, but it does not, it's been observed, like we have seen the history, they are not of that much use. People anyway, countries anyway, they are doing whatever they want to do even after the sanctions. So the bilateral talks is something that is the way forward towards it, right? And these NPT policy should be more and more inclusive of all the countries, and it should not be just focusing on the five big countries that have always been there in the UN, right? So that was all about this particular topic. I have written down whatever I have taught you. Okay, I have also made a PDF so that afterwards you can, if you want to have revision, you can do so. You'll get the PDF in our Telegram channel, which is SSB Tales. Okay, and there we also provide daily current affairs, so whatever be the update related to it, and also we provide with the previous year questions as polls, as quiz, so that you can test your knowledge for written examination, right? So you can take the benefits of all this by joining our Telegram channel. So that is all in this particular video. If you want me to cover any topic, do let me know, and if you like the video, kindly like video, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you everybody for watching, and all the very best for SSB. Thank you.